You should be talking while during the pre-show is going on, kind of like how fucking, but not really. Well, no.
So can I have a lisp in this like Renee Young does during the pre-shows?
No.
You can be Booker T and talk incoherently.
Okay, here we go.
Oh my goodness.
You should be talking while during the pre-show is going on, kind of like how fucking, but not really. Well, no.
So can I have a lisp in this like Renee Young does during the pre-shows?
No.
You can be Booker T and talk incoherently.
Okay, here we go.
Oh my goodness. They're my favorite.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the return of the AWF ReAction podcast. I am your host, Phillip Ontario, and I am here with some special guests as we are going to talk about the upcoming Cyberslam event. So allow me to introduce our guests. First we have from New Dawn Pro, Adam Jackpot.
Not a lot of sky above, but I got a cubby.
We also have from ECF, Jared Extreme.
What's up, everybody? I'm ready to talk some Cyberslam.
Alright, we also have Christian Edwards.
How's it going, everybody? Christian Edwards here, the voice of everybody, because I'm better than all of you.
Right. And we also have AJ Young here.
America, sweetheart. Good morning, America.
Who invited him?
Who invited you?
It was just.
don't even work here.
It was on the paper. I was told I had some special guests, and AJ Young was invited here. I mean, it's very interesting because AJ is going to be competing on the Cyberslam card. So.
That I am.
And we'll see if AJ's thoughts on the upcoming card, how biased they are, but I'm sure we'll all find out.
You people
who are you to assume bias? AJ Young is one half of the tag team champions.
No, he is not.
Not anymore.
No, he is not, because in the last edition of Superstar Mayhem, AJ Young and Christopher Wonder, the Young Wonders, they defended those tag team titles, and Mr. Young, you remember that, where you lost to the returning Maverick Brothers.
Well, I'm sorry,
looks like someone doesn't keep up with the shows.
No, it's not that. I do not recognize the Maverick Brothers as members of the AWF roster. Who the hell does Jay Crack think he is trying to bring these people in? He does not have any type of authority. He's just a general manager. He's not like a CEO. He doesn't make those type of decisions.
Sorry.
Well, regardless of that, that's what happened on Superstar Mayhem. You can.
Are you running here? I was told it was going to be a nice roundtable discussion.
Yes,
this is a roundtable.
This is why I'm in my glass cubby, not surrounded by you people.
That is what I'm going to bring it back to, because on the ReAction podcast, we're going to go around with the whole guest of people here. We're going to talk about the Cyberslam event, top to bottom. We're going to get some thoughts and some predictions on the card. So let's start things off with the Junior Heavyweight Championship match over from Superstar Mayhem, where Travis Sparks, who by the way is the longest reigning,
the greatest champion who ever lived
in the AWF, will be defending his championship up against Brandon Wolf.
The biggest loser in the history of the world.
Christian, don't worry. I'm going to give you your chance to give your thoughts.
Oh, the only match I will be vocal about.
Yes. Well, first, we're going to go to Mr. Jackpot. First of all, your thoughts and your predictions.
Okay. So, lately, both of these two men have been currently signed to my Fed. And Sparks just won the Zero-G title, which essentially is a cruiserweight title, which is pretty much what the junior heavyweight title is. And I find it funny that one of the men that he beat was Brandon Wolf. So, he has beaten him already before. But not in a single situation. But Brandon Wolf is probably the hottest rising star. So you're really looking at this 50-50 situation here. Also, Sparks has been on fire since being junior champion. But is that also a testament to the weak junior division that AWF had? And is this the new life that Brandon Wolf is bringing? So I'm kind of conflicted.
You're conflicted, so you're unsure. You can't call a winner here.
I think both men have a good shot at winning, but also a good shot at losing themselves. So I'm kind of split down the middle.
Okay, all right. Jared, your thoughts?
Look, both men are incredibly talented individuals. I've had the pleasure of commentating some of Wolf's matches over in ECF. And Wolf's made a pretty big impact since he's joined the AWF, kind of rose up the card rather quickly. However, Wolf's having sort of a career year sort of in a lot of different feds. He's becoming one of the top names in this industry. However, Travis Sparks has held that title since Civil War last season. He's shown no signs of losing it, and I think that he will once again prove that he is the best champ in the AWF, and he will retain his championship. So I'm going with Travis Sparks.
Okay. Christian, I know you had some opinions, so now you can address those.
Well, I'm gonna say me and AJ probably gonna share this opinion here on Brandon Wolf now, knowing that Brandon Wolf is probably Mr. Choke Artist of the year 2016. And I'm not just pointing this from like a now standpoint. You know for a fact that I was a huge Brandon Wolf supporter going into this year.
Yes.
Like when he first started last year in 2015, when he really started making a big scene out. He wasn't really getting the shine that he wanted. He was getting held back by a couple of feds. When he started getting on that hot streak, like right as the new year rolled around, he was building up all this momentum. He was saying that he was going to do this, and he was getting it done. He was going to do that, and he was getting it done. And it just reminded me so much of somebody. So like it made me think of Cam Newton. And you remember what happened to Cam Newton?
He had a very impressive season, but he did lose in the Super Bowl.
Something bad. I'm going to assume something.
Now
bad.
I'm going to compare Brandon Wolf. His Super Bowl moment was against AJ Young. This man right here, the Call All-Stars champion.
For now,
but this man's been holding it for. I'm sorry, AJ. How long have you been holding that title now?
Combined about 30 months.
How many successful title defenses have you had?
Too many to count.
Exactly. And Brandon Wolf, who has beaten, let's not forget, has been in the ring and kept up with people such as M. Accuracy, The Goonie, Zane LaFontaine. I mean, he's kept up with people in AWF, such as, he's been in the ring with
but he's kept up with these people, right? But is he going to keep up with Travis Sparks? Is the question.
All due respect to Travis Sparks, he's no AJ Young.
Here's a better question. Edwards having to deal with him as well. Dealing with his fanboyism. Is it a blind fanboyish approach when it comes to Sparks that you just hate everybody that goes up against him?
That is false, because Travis Sparks has the tools for what it takes to become a future Call All-Stars champion, to be a future star in this company. He is the greatest thing that ever entered this wrestling business, and there's no one else who can defy him on that. That's why he has the junior heavyweight title, because he's dominating that division.
Right. So no surprise there. Christian Edwards is.
He owns one of the other greatest Crawford's ever too, and that's COH.
Right. Okay, but we know your prediction.
Where AWF happens to get the majority of its stars from.
I don't agree with that. We're going to move to AJ Young, because Christian Edwards has said what he's had to say. AJ, what are your thoughts? Who's going to walk out of here with the Junior Heavyweight Championship? A belt, in fact, that you were the first champion of.
Indeed.
The least memorable.
Go back to working for Jobber Call Federation. Anyway, as I was saying before, I was really interrupted by Jared. Actually, I don't even remember his name. But first, I'd like to thank you all for reminding me of the fluke and the travesty that happened on Slam. But let me get to the subject. Brandon Wolf, I've been in the ring with him before. And some people called my match with him at... what's that show thingy again? face. Oh yeah, Deadly Game. Deadly Game.
Mm-hmm.
When I faced Brandon Wolf at Deadly Game, people called it Match of the Year quality. You can check the comments. I'm not exaggerating. But Brandon Wolf, he's an up and comer in call wrestling, but he's blown title matches before. He has a track record of blowing title matches. Travis Sparks, coming from a former junior heavyweight champion, Travis Sparks is probably the most dominating junior heavyweight in AWF, if not in call wrestling history, except for when I won the junior heavyweight championship, becoming the first champion. Travis Sparks is on a roll, but when you're on a roll, when you've been champion for as long as Travis has, you start to get complacent, and Travis cannot afford to get complacent with Brandon Wolf. Could Brandon Wolf walk out with a victory? Sure, but his championship record does not bode well for his match against Travis Sparks at Cyberslam. But if Travis Sparks can light that fire inside of him and realize that this championship match is as important as any other championship match, I think we're going to be looking at the continuation of a very long reign.
Okay, all right. So we look forward to that match, and we're going to now go over onto the Uprising side of things with the United States Championship match, where Don Martin, the United States champion, is going to be defending his championship against the number one contender, Rave. So let's get some thoughts and predictions here. We're going to go to Jared Extreme, who's walking out with the United States Championship.
I want to say Rave. However, I feel like Don Martin has that type of pull and that type of wealth where he could just pay off the ref and buy himself the victory. But I think this is Rave's moment. Don Martin has been champ for a long time. He's shown dominance in this division. He's used a little dirty tactics here and there. But Rave, he's got that heart. He's the ultimate underdog, and I think tonight is going to be the night of Rave. I got Rave walking out as U.S. champion.
Okay, all right. Christian Edwards, who's walking out with the U.S. title?
Now you see, there's like I said, I don't really have any issue with Rave. Rave has really been phenomenal since showing up on the main roster. He's had one hell of a career. He has such a tragic story, though.
I'm a little confused about where he's from, though. Is he Irish or Scottish?
I can't tell. I know he's friends with a certain somebody.
I don't think he knows himself.
Yeah. Now, the problem that I see in this is Don Martin not only just having the title for so long, is that he's got Brian Stone right behind him, and he could play a huge factor in this match, like he has in the past. Now, who I have in this match? Now, let's say Rave ends up having like an ace up his sleeve. Someone ends up coming out and taking out Brian Stone, makes this a fair match. That's where the huge factor is. I think Don Martin still has this, because I've seen him take care of things on his own, and that's how he's held that title. That's how he's like Brian Stone. Regardless, my bad. I'm like at a loss for words for that. But even without Brian Stone, before Brian Stone was even on the scene, Don Martin was taking care of business. So yeah, I'm gonna have to go with him.
Okay, all right. And now, AJ, who do you think's walking out with the United States Championship?
I have to go with wealth in this equation. I'm going with Don Martin. It is Don Martin versus Rave is the equivalent of a homeless man going up against Bill Gates. It's a no-win situation for Rave. Don Martin has too much influence in AWF. He has too much pull, and he has too much money. He has Brian Stone already, so that's the known that Rave has to go up against. But what about the unknown? Don Martin can pay off anybody in AWF that he wants to. So there could be some surprises in for Rave, but unfortunately, I don't think it's going to be enough for him to overcome. I'm going with Don Martin.
All right. And allow me to address for a moment that Mr. Jackpot has had to remove himself, and hopefully he will return later in the broadcast. But we're going to keep things going. We're going to keep talking about the card. So let's stick to Uprising, and we're going to talk about another championship, the Extreme Championship, where the Punisher Fisk is going to be putting that championship on the line against Brock Manson. A new Brock Manson, a more aggressive Brock Manson. So I'm going to turn it to the panel here. I'm going to go right to Jared. You've called Fisk matches before. You know what Fisk is capable of. Is Fisk walking out still the champion, or were you looking at a new champion?
Well, I have called many of Fisk matches for the better part of 3 years. I have called a Fisk match almost every single show. So I know what he's capable of. I've seen him dominate. I've seen him win championships. He has not been pinned in my show yet. This is a new Brock Manson. However, it's still Brock Manson, and it's still a Brock Manson that's getting up there in age. His own son is competing in the AWF now. Brock Manson he's that beaten up veteran, and I think Fisk will take advantage of that, and he is going to walk out still the Extreme Champion. It will be a bloodfest, but Fisk will be your Extreme Champion at the end of the night.
Okay, all right. Christian Edwards.
Now
Who's walking out
you
here?
see, while you said you've called many of my bad, Phillip. While you said you've called many of Fisk's matches, I have called many of Brock Manson's matches as well. And you call Brock Manson a beat up veteran and stuff like this. Yes, this is indeed a new side of him, but he is still knocking out people just as hard as he was back when he was in his prime. And this is really dangerous. Even proving that his next of kin is also on the minor league roster, even having matches on the main roster itself. And yeah, Fisk kind of took him to the woodshed, nearly killed the kid, trying to make a statement. And yes, I've called Fisk matches as well, and he is just as much of an intimidating force as Brock Manson can be. So this will really be the irresistible force meeting the immovable object, if you will, here at Cyberslam in the Extreme Championship. And just the word extreme and these two names coming to mind, ooh, the word bloodfest that Jared used. Only one thing I can think of.
So are you saying that Brock Manson will win championship gold once again?
It's hard to decide between the two, but it's a coin toss. I'm gonna have to probably stick with Fisk retaining.
Okay, all right. And then AJ, I mean, you have a history with Brock Manson, so you know what Brock Manson's capable of.
Back in the good old days of the Revolution.
Yes, one of the greatest three-man groups of all time.
Oh, the greatest punches in the face of all time.
So AJ, who's walking out here with the Extreme Championship?
Well, I mean, I have history with both men. Fisk, I've had my wars with in Call Stars, and Brock Manson, I've known him personally through the Revolution. And I was with you at that commentary table when Brock Manson delivered the punch that rocked the world. I have to go with Brock Manson. He's been dominating the competition with a newborn fire like never seen before. Jared talks about him being an aged veteran. Listen, hey, Brock Manson can age like one with that punching power that he still has. All it takes is one punch for there to be a new Extreme Champion. I'm going with Brock.
He's the Black Saitama.
Okay, all right. And now let's talk about, on the Superstar Mayhem side, a match that was announced after Superstar Mayhem went off the air. Two people who have a lot of history with each other. One man who's showing a new side of himself as well. That being Brent Thompson, who's going to go one-on-one with Ice Dude. I mean, Brent Thompson has been going around breaking arms left and right. Is he going to break Ice Dude's arm? Is he going to pick up the victory? Or is Ice Dude going to get that win that you could argue he really needs? Jared?
Well, in many ways, this is kind of a 2/3 rematch from Glory Days 3. Back then, Ice Dude was champ and Brent Thompson won. This is a new Brent that scares me. However, I think this is also a Brent that is, in many ways, a sore loser. He couldn't handle the fact that he lost the world title on free AWF programming, nonetheless. Not on a CPV. He lost it on an episode of Superstar Mayhem to Ben Hitman. This is a Brent.
Isn't it all free?
Well, this is a Brent Thompson that doesn't really know what he's doing right now. He doesn't know where he's at in his mind. Yet, at the same time, Ice Dude, what's happened to him? He's like, he hasn't been anything since he lost the title. Sure, he was in the Cyberslam series, but Christopher Wonder won that. Ice Dude's on the decline. Brent Thompson has lost his mind. I want to say Ice Dude gets his victory here and proves that he still has some stuff left in the tank. But honestly, I think Brent Thompson, just because of his instability, is going to walk out as the winner. And if he beats up Ice Dude bad enough, I think this could very well be the last time we see Ice Dude in the American Wrestling Federation.
Oh, that's a big prediction there. I mean, but we have seen Thompson take out people, and we haven't seen them since, so it could happen. Christian Edwards, you know these guys very well.
No, I know. Yeah, Ice Dude, who I would consider still a living legend here, still around since all these years, and he may be just a little past his prime. And the thing about Brent Thompson, while you may call him a sore loser, he has shown that he has gotten a lot more deadlier. Like a real part of him has snapped before. And I've known Brent Thompson to be a loose cannon in the past, where he's like had these moments of like mental instability. And I think this time he's really cracked and there's no going back. And we've obviously seen that how he took out Tyler Riley. The man is on the shelf for good. His shoulder is separated. And I fear the worst for Ice Dude. And these two men have clashed in the past, and maybe that bad blood might come back and just add more fuel to the fire. I'm going to go with Brent Thompson on this.
All right, AJ, you know Ice Dude very well. And, I mean, we talked about how you know Brock Manson, but it's a little bit different from where they are in their careers right now. Is Ice Dude going to get that win that he needs, or are you going to say, just like these guys, that Brent Thompson's walking out with the victory?
Brent Thompson and Ice Dude are two multi-league call legends, and their resume speaks for itself. But Brent Thompson, he is on quite a streak right now, breaking people's arms, but Brent Thompson has lost his mind. And when you lose your mind, you lose focus. And Ice Dude is a veteran. He's been in the game for a very long time. If he can take advantage of a single moment that Brent Thompson loses focus, and if Ice Dude can keep his arms free from Brent Thompson, I'm going with Ice Dude.
Okay, all right. So, we talked about some of the matches from Uprising and Superstar Mayhem. Now we're going to talk about a cross-promotion match. The Money in the Bank ladder match. In fact, who one of our panelists is a part of. AJ Young is a part of the Money in the Bank ladder match, and I would expect AJ you're predicting yourself for the victory. Would I be correct in that?
You know, I don't know. You know, that Jack Maximus guy, he may have a shot. I mean, yes, I'm predicting myself for victory. No one in that match is more qualified than me. No one in that match is more experienced than me. Okay, maybe Mason Chronic. Okay, I take that back. But at the same time, my resume speaks for itself. I have been a champion in waiting for the longest time. Two-time Call All-Stars champion. Current Call All-Stars champion. I've main evented more Call All-Stars than any other champion in history. The one thing that is eluding me is that AWF World Heavyweight Championship. And I will prove to everybody that I'm not a sidekick to the Dynasty. I wasn't a sidekick to the Revolution. I'm going to prove to everybody that I will be the next World Heavyweight Champion. And that, my friends, is an AJ Young guarantee.
All right, now AJ had mentioned himself. Mason Chronic will be in the match. Also, Ian Morgan, Kevin Cash, Big Dwayne, and Jack Maximus will also be a part of the match. So, Jared, who do you have? Do you have AJ or do you have someone else?
Sorry, I fell asleep. AJ was talking and I got so fucking bored I just had to, I zoned out. I'll tell you.
Oh, it's all good. I fell asleep during ECF anyway, so it's all good.
I'm so you a little bit salty about not getting those titles back. Alright, so I can tell you who's not winning. It's not going to be Jack Maximus. It's not going to be Big Dwayne. This is between... I don't even think it's going to be a guy like Kevin Cash. It's between Ian Morgan, Mason Chronic, and AJ Young. And
thank you! Put your side. Thank you.
My gut says you're going to win. I'm thinking of picking Ian Morgan out of spite, though, because of his group that he's with. And... you know, a guy like Mason Chronic, he just came back to call after so many years on the shelf. He's making a big impact.
Jared, just admit it. You're going to pick Ian Morgan because AJ's promo bored you.
You know what? I got to give the devil his due. I'm going with Mr. Guarantee over there.
Oh, interesting.
Okay, so you
Smart
insult
man, smart
the
man
man, you
for
insult
once.
the man just now, and then you say, you know what, your
Okay,
promo sucks.
I
I'm gonna
think
pick you to
AJ
win.
Young is a conniving piece of shit, but he's a talented conniving piece of shit, and I think he's walking out with the briefcase.
I should be the conniving ECF tag team
Fucking
champion right
backwards.
now.
Well, hey, Christian, do you agree? Do you
I think
think
we
that
can all
AJ
agree
is
though
gonna
he's going to
pick-
be a better Money in the Bank holder than that other guy that held it beforehand.
That the IMJ, I think.
The DUI or whatever the fuck his name was.
Yeah, I think that was it actually.
Christian? So, you say it? Do you say it's AJ, or do you have a different opinion? I mean,
You see, I'm gonna take it from Jared's standpoint. I know it's definitely not gonna be someone like Big Dwayne or Jack Maximus at all. I feel like they're just filler time, yeah. And then you got people like you got people like Kevin Cash. You got people like I wouldn't doubt him. I feel like he's just slowly like building up steam, and I
agree.
believe this is his one moment that he's gonna blow off. This is his boiling point. The Money in the Bank might be the opportunity that's been eluding him for so long. I would not count him out just yet. He might be the one underdog. And then you got people like Ian Morgan, Mason Chronic, and AJ Young here. Now, Mason Chronic. Now, Mr. Phillip Ontario here might know my issues with a certain Mason Chronic. Mason Chronic I discovered a long time ago, and I've always seen how talented he was, but the only problem I ever had with him was his disgusting, disrespectful attitude. Not even just towards the fans, but towards the other wrestlers that came before him. And I can't stand that. I always respect my elders, goddammit. As much as offensive as I get, you have to appreciate the people that built the ground for you, not spit on it. And Mason Chronic, him with the Money in the Bank, would just be more disrespectful than anything. So I'm not going to go with him. And now, there's AJ Young and Ian Morgan. This is, like I said, this is going to be like the proverbial coin flip, like I said, with the Extreme Championship match. Ian Morgan has been, like, on a tear, really, on the uprising side. He's on the Devil's Advocates. He's been making a lot of impacts on the in the Call All-Stars syndicate as well. He got involved in, Mr. AJ Young's little Call All-Stars thing with Kamikaze. That was in the tournament, actually. And then you got AJ Young over here, who just lost the tag team titles on some bullshit. Actually, he should still be tag team champions. That's why I still recognize them as a tag team champion. That was not a mistake.
But I feel like every show's MO is to screw me out of tag titles, but continue.
Well, the Devil's Advocates, gets screwed out of things as well. According to Kamikaze, if you will. Kamikaze is just paranoid and needs to stop looking over his shoulders and pay attention to what's in front of him. And then, it's like I said, it's a coin flip. But if I have to pick somebody, I'm gonna have to go with Ian Morgan. I believe that he can just pull this out of the bag just somehow. I'm sorry. He looks like he's bigger than he can eat you.
Sure, can eat me after having a needle in his ass.
Dude, you're as big as his thigh.
It's not my fault that somebody takes estrogen blockers on a daily.
Around any given day, twice on Sundays.
Especially after estrogen blockers.
well,
That is not a healthy physique for a man. He has muscles in places where most people don't even have places. That is absolutely disgusting. But it's all good. It's all good. It's all good.
well, we will find out at Cyberslam who will win.
Find out at Cyber. What do you mean? Find out at Cyberslam. Spoiler alert! I win. You think Ian Morgan, Big Dwayne, and Mason Chronic can climb a ladder? Look at them. They're big as all hell. They're gonna be
I don't think Big Dwayne can do anything because he's useless. But
Big Dwayne is a former winner of the Money in the Bank, and he went on to win the AWF Championship. So Big Dwayne,
how long
I think
ago was that?
What has he done?
Big Dwayne is going into this with history in Money in the Bank.
Oh, congratulations!
And he went into the last Money in the Bank with history, and guess what? He lost.
That is true.
So,
He has a win, which
We
is
don't
more
know.
than anyone in this match can say.
I
But who
think,
won? I don't know.
I think Jared Extreme has a point here. Yeah,
No one won the last Money in the Bank. It disappeared.
Right.
Kevin Cash, Ian Morgan, they've been around the block. Mason Crack has been around the block. Jack Maximus, the undoubted underdog in the match. Big Dwayne, the only man in the match to have won Money in the Bank before. But I'm telling you right now, at the end of the day, it's not going to matter because I am walking out with the keys to the kingdom to become the next AWF champion.
Okay, well we will find out that. And as the show goes along, we're going back to the Uprising side of things, and we're going to see the Monster, Disciple Zone, Texas Black go one-on-one with Danny Hardy. You know, Danny Hardy, he's a tough guy. He's going out there and he's giving it his all, but Texas Black has been proven to be perhaps the most unstoppable he's ever been. So I'm going to give it to you guys. Who you think is going to win here? So, Jarrett, is it going to be Danny Hardy or Texas Black?
This is tough. The Texas Black we've seen recently it's a different Texas Black. I mean, and that's saying something because Texas Black, for the better part of his career, has been a dominant force. But this is just, ever since he's joined the Disciples, it's been a different man. Danny Hardy, it's no secret he's one of my favorite guys on the roster, and I want to root for him here. I just don't think he's going to win it. I think Texas Black is walking out here with the victory. It could shock some people, but I think this is going to be Texas Black's match.
Okay, all right. Christian?
Now, this is a, like I said, this is a tough one to think, but I think Danny Hardy might have bit off more than he could chew because, as Jared said, this is not only a different Texas Black. I don't think this is the same Texas Black that we're used to just seeing. The Disciples have done something to him ever since Glory days. They've taken him away, and it seems like they've completely changed his consciousness, his subconsciousness even. It's not mind control. I don't know how to explain it. It's like a new aura around him, and Danny Hardy, as like I said, he's a trooper. He's gonna try his best to go the fight, but he's gonna go down swinging, and it's not gonna be good news for him. I'm gonna have to go with Texas Black on this.
Okay, AJ, what do you think?
You guys have talked about how unstoppable Texas Black has been since aligning with the Disciples. Well, I'll put it like this. Everyone's unstoppable until they get kicked in the head. Danny Hardy has proven himself in AWF numerous times. He's come to AWF and basically dominated the competition over and over again. And that's the point where I used to like Danny Hardy before he aligned with that crappy group in the DUI guy. Anyway, that's not the point. Danny Hardy has proven time and time again that he is one of the most ruthless people in AWF. It doesn't matter who you are or how big you are. When you get kicked in the head, however unstoppable you are, your momentum dies right then and there. I'm going with Danny Hardy.
All right. So, we're going to take things over to Superstar Mayhem, one of the most popular call wrestlers in any promotion that he's in. The Raging Redneck.
I didn't know that I was on there. I didn't know I was on any promotions.
No. See, the Raging Redneck, Ray Geddes, is going up against the Ultimate One, Nitro. We know Ray Geddes has been determined to win the World Championship, but he's been put to a stop by a shocking turn of events from the Ultimate One. Nitro showing this newer side, this unlikable side of Nitro, where he does not want to be the hero for the fans anymore. Now these guys are going to do battle at Cyberslam. Does Ray Geddes get his revenge and defeat Nitro, or does Nitro truly establish himself against Ray Geddes? Jarrett?
This match and everything I've seen just hurts. It's well documented the friendship that Ultimate Nitro and I have had over the years. He's been a good buddy of mine.
Go ahead.
What was that, sir? I'm sorry. I was hearing a bunch of. I was hearing someone shitting in my ear. What I was saying is, this Nitro. I don't know what's gotten into him. He's clearly. He something has broken inside of his mind where he thinks that the world was against him, and that he had to turn on Ray Geddes, who is undoubtedly one of the most popular people in this industry, in order to prove that point. I think Nitro bit off more than he can chew, and this is someone who used to call him a friend. I think Ray Geddes is going to mop the floor with Nitro in this match, and I hate saying it, but I think that's the truth.
Wow. Christian, do you think Ray Geddes is going to mop the floor with Nitro?
Oh God, that's one way of putting it. Now I know there's like three golden rules that I listen to. You know, thou shalt not lie, thou shalt not steal, and thou shalt not cross Ray Geddes on any given goddamn day. Especially if he's got alcohol in his system or if he's looking at you. You know, because Ray Geddes, I'm sorry, as much as Nitro is like, I'm sorry, this is disappointing. Nitro was such a chill person to be around. He's such a humble person. I talked about, like, he was so happy for all the opportunity that he was given, and he's just lost his nuts, man. Like, he's just, what is he thinking? Do you know what Ray Geddes does to people bigger
Of all
than him?
people to make a statement against, why?
Yeah, like
why
I don't
Ray
know what
Geddes?
you're thinking, man, but this.
Why not? Why not
gonna end
Danny
well.
Hardy? Why not? You know, a
Why
tank?
not Ben Hitman?
Why Ray Geddes? I don't get it.
Why not Ben
confused.
Hitman? He's the champion. Ray Geddes is like, I mean, as much as I admire his candor, I believe he's like, yeah, like how you know how I said Danny Hardy bit off more than he can chew against Texas Black.
Right.
Well, this is like a ×2.
Well, like a times.
Nitro's gonna be treated like a koala and an asshole, and he's gonna get kicked into the street and then ran over
Okay.
and then eaten.
All right. Now, AJ, you have history with Ray Geddes.
Oh, I get it because he's Australian.
You have history with Ray Geddes. You know what he's capable of.
No, it's because he's black.
Oh,
So
I
do you-
don't think that's.
So do you think Nitro bit off more he can chew? You think the Ultimate One can survive Ray Geddes?
Coming from someone who's made a career out of antagonizing Ray Geddes, one thing I have to say about Ray is that when it comes to revenge, that is where he thrives. Ray Geddes does not stop until he gets revenge and until he humiliates people. That's what Ray Geddes is. Ray Geddes is determined, driven, and focused. And as much as I feel like puking for saying that right now, Nitro may have been off a little bit more than he can chew. I understand trying to prove a point. I understand trying to set up the ranks, but he may have chose the wrong person to do that against. I'm going with Ray Geddes.
All right. So it's going to be an interesting match for sure. We'll see if all this was worth it for Nitro. Find out at Cyberslam. I'm going to stick.
Spoiler: it's not.
It's not.
Nope.
Okay. Well, we're going to stick with Superstar Mayhem here. And we got another match that's about someone costing the other the World Heavyweight Championship. Now, this one's a little bit different because you could argue one did it out of revenge. This match being the reignited rivalry between Ben Hitman, Sean O'Connor. These two have been feuding with each other for years, and the rivalry comes back after Sean O'Connor, he got back at Ben Hitman and ended up costing him the World Heavyweight Championship. These two are going to meet. Ben Hitman feels that it was Sean O'Connor's fault. Who's going to win here? Ben Hitman, Sean O'Connor, Jared? Who walks out with the victory?
Ben Hitman, Jesus Christ! You want to talk about past your prime? Look at Sean O'Connor. He's come back. He wanted to make a big fanfare about his comeback, and all of maybe 10 people gave a shit. He went on the Sean Wall show, talked too big for his britches, and now the entire call world hates his guts. Ben Hitman is a 9-time World Heavyweight Champion. He is fuming that he no longer has the title. He lost it to someone like Tank, who now has 2 titles around his waist. This match is all Ben Hitman's. I see one maple knee and it's done, and he will not only be the superior man, but the superior Canadian.
It's interesting. I mean, maybe, but Sean
I kind of can't tell that they're Canadian. It's not like they have maple leaves like on every inch of their attire.
They're both very proud Canadians.
I don't know why, but there we go. Ben Hitman.
So, Christian, we're gonna go to you. What do you think?
Oh my God, you are such a fucking millennial. You talk so disrespectful about a man like Sean O'Connor, and the way you think about this match is just so goddamn sideways, Jared. Let me educate you about this whole entire feud. And Phillip I know is a historian. He can attest to this. And AJ, who was at one point in his rookie career, can also attest to this. This Sean O'Connor Ben Hitman feud has a lot of bad blood behind it.
It does.
When Sean O'Connor was in his stride, when Ben Hitman was first coming up from the ground, and Sean O'Connor, yes, and I will say this was all Sean O'Connor's fault. This was him being an arrogant asshole like he's always been, thinking Ben Hitman couldn't be one of these people that could make it, trying to personally attacking him, insulting him. At one point, was like just disrespecting him, cost him so many title opportunities. At one point, even cost him a Call Stars championship way back in the day. Now, Ben Hitman, of course, got his revenge, and he even ended up shaving Sean O'Connor's head and got him kicked out from a company twice. Now, think about it. It's so many years now, and Ben Hitman's gone on to succeed. Not only that, he's gone on to get the heart of the fans, only to crush it. And now Ben Hitman, he doesn't give a shit about all that anymore. The only thing he cares about is the dynasty. I don't even think he cares about that. I think he just cares about himself and that AWF title. Sean O'Connor ends up coming back into the picture. And yes, I do think after all these years, the first thing that he has on his mind since coming here, not only is to win the title back, but to take out Ben Hitman, the man that humiliated him after all these years. Now, the person I think coming out to win, it's going to be Sean O'Connor.
Okay, all right. AJ, we know the connection with you and Ben Hitman, and we know the reason for this happening was because when you qualified for Money in the Bank, you defeated Sean O'Connor, and some would say thanks to the help of Ben Hitman, and which Sean O'Connor later on maybe gave a little bit of the assist to where Ben Hitman lost the world championship. Are you siding with your dynasty partner, Ben Hitman, or do you think Sean O'Connor's going to knock him out here? You think he's going to get the victory?
Are you insinuating that this is my fault?
I mean, this did start in your match with Sean O'Connor.
I had nothing to do with that. Sean O'Connor is just a sore loser who decided to go and interfere in another person's match that he had no business interfering in. And now Ben Hitman is now the AWF champion, and now it's Chaos, Carnage, and Destruction. By the way, Jared Extreme, I'll explain to you why Ben Hitman and Sean O'Connor are such proud Canadians. It's because they're happy they're not from the same country as you. Anyway, I'll continue. Ben Hitman, like Jared Extreme said, is a 9-time former AWF champion. The biggest show, the show that made AWF what it is today. Ben Hitman emerged from as the undisputed AWF champion. He's beaten Evan Rockwell. He's beaten Tattoo Taker. He's beaten big name after big name after big name. Sean O'Connor, I'm sorry, he has an impressive history in Call Wrestling, despite some controversial comments that he may make. But Ben Hitman is experienced. Ben Hitman is driven with revenge, and it only takes one maple knee to stop Sean O'Connor dead in his tracks. I'm going with my dynasty brother. I'm going with Ben Hitman.
Take him to the Hitman Hotel.
Oh yeah, hit you in a minute.
Well, that's sure to be an incredible match, but we're going to talk about a match on the uprising side of things that some would say we never thought was going to happen. Two men who were former friends. They were a part of an alliance together, a part of the Seven Deadly Sins over in Call of Honor, and ever since the exit of the Alex Enterprise from Call of Honor, he's made quite the impact, and he made his arrival in the AWF at the expense of Sean Walsh. Shocked the world when he showed up, and shocked the world twice in the same night by attacking Sean Walsh. These two are finally going to meet at Cyberslam. So the question is, does the Alex Enterprise make the big win in his first match here in AWF, or does Sean Walsh prove his uncle wrong and prove a lot of people wrong and walk out of here with a victory? Jared, what do you think?
This is a match in which I think the people are going to be talking about the most after the show. Because you have this. Although he's had a couple matches at Call All Stars last year, this is really his first match since he has come out of retirement. He's been out of action for over a year, so you gotta wonder, is there a little ring rust there? However, Sean Walsh has had one hell of a bad season, a bad couple of years. He lost the AWF. He's lost every other source of power he's had in any other Cause show. He's been the proverbial punching bag to almost everyone in this industry recently. So you gotta think, is that going to be enough to give Sean Walsh the loss here? And even though I think Sean Walsh will put up a fight, this will not be a one-sided contest. I do think just because he is the Alex Enterprise, he will be walking away with the victory here tonight.
Very, very interesting. AJ, we know you have history with both of these men. In fact, you've faced both of these men very recently.
And beaten both of them.
That you did. So, who's walking out of here with the victory? Does the Alex Enterprise make his big debut match and walk out with the victory? Does Sean Walsh win?
I gotta go with the Alex Enterprise. I faced him not too long ago at Call All Stars Final 4. He is probably better than he's ever been. And yeah, I was able to beat him. But that's just a testament to my ability. That is not a detriment to the Alex Enterprise's ability. But the Alex Enterprise is back. And the mind games that Alex Enterprise and company have been playing with Sean Walsh for months, it is going to be too much for Sean Walsh to overcome. The Alex Enterprise is back, better than ever, and he's going to prove it at Cyberslam with the win. I'm going with the Alex Enterprise.
Okay. And, you know, I think Christian Edwards is going to agree with that. He's had to take a step out for a few moments. He'll be rejoining us very shortly.
Man, we're just losing people left and right.
See, but I know Christian Edwards is going to come back. No, it's not. But the show must go on, and we're going to go to our double main events here. Both world championships on the line. Let's first go on the Superstar Mayhem side of things. For the World Heavyweight Championship, Tank, the man who just recently, a few episodes back, won the World Heavyweight Championship. He's going to defend that championship up against the winner of the Cyberslam series, member of the Dynasty, Christopher Wonder. It's going to be a very interesting match. We know things have been boiling up between the two as of the last episode of Superstar Mayhem. So the question is Tank going to retain the championship? Is he going to keep this run going? Or is Christopher Wonder right and that the era of Wonder is going to begin at Cyberslam? We're gonna go with AJ first, because we know you were just tag team champions with Christopher Wonder. So what do you think?
Christopher Wonder has been to the mountaintop before. I mean, look at him. He was undefeated in his rookie year in AWF. But he beat literally everyone that there was to beat. He won the AWF Royal Rumble. It was just that one moment at Glory Days, that one loss, changed him possibly for the better for the moment. I mean, he ended up winning the AWF Championship afterwards, but from that point on, since losing the title, he's kind of on like a downward slope. But now his luck is turned around.
That's one way of putting it.
Quiet you. Anyway, his luck has turned around, and Christopher Wonder is re-energized, revitalized. Christopher Wonder he's a new person. He's not the same person that he was when he was undefeated in his rookie year. He wasn't the same person he was when he was AWF champion before. This is a new and improved Chris Wonder, and he's going to prove it by taking the AWF World Heavyweight Championship from Tank and bringing it back to the Dynasty.
Okay, Jarrett, you think, because the Dynasty, their whole goal this whole time is to keep the championship in the Dynasty, and they've done a good job of that for a while until Ben Hitman lost the championship. Does the World Heavyweight Championship return to the Dynasty, or does the Dynasty fail on that night?
You know what? I mean, Tank has had one hell of a Cinderella story. He's currently the Internet and World Heavyweight Champions. However, I got to think, because Tank won essentially due to Sean O'Connor, according to Ben Hitman at least, and Christopher Wonder won the Cyberslam series, and he's had a career resurgence with the Young Wonders and joining the Dynasty and winning the Cyberslam series. I think he's going to regain the glory that he once had, and he's going to walk out as your new AWF World Heavyweight Champion. I think it's not going to be an easy fight. I think Tank, I mean, he only has 2 titles for a reason. He is one hell of a fighter. That the Dynasty could get involved, but I think Wonder will be the champion. I hate to say it, but I think it's what's going to happen.
Well, Christopher Wonder could walk out with the World Heavyweight Championship that night, and it'll be very interesting to see. But let's not count out Tank. Tank, like you said, huge Cinderella story. He's a double champion. We're going to find out at ScyberSlam who walks out with the big gold title. But now over on the Uprising side of things, the main event, the match that everybody is talking about. Sean Riley, who has been AWF champion since Glory Days, when he had his big victory, defeating his brother, won the championship. And he has been put up against opponent after opponent after opponent, and every time it's always been, this is his biggest challenge yet. And he has walked out and he has won and kept the AWF championship. But now, yet again, he faces what everyone is calling his biggest challenge yet. And I think now it's more accurate than ever. He's going up against the King of the Ring, Dr. Steven Syntax, the man that has been revealed to be the leader of the Disciples, and ever since then has just taken the whole AWF by storm. He has all this control. He says, but to have that absolute control, he needs the AWF championship. So the question is, does Sean Riley, does he beat the odds yet again and keep the championship? Or is Syntax a feat that he can't defeat? Jared, what do you think?
Steven Syntax is unlike any man I've ever seen. He has managed in such a short time to win the King of the Ring, reveal himself as the mastermind behind the Disciples, a group that has plagued the AWF for years now. And I think that he is the biggest threat Sean Riley will ever have. Sean Riley, though, is a guy that we've shown that he can go through anything and he will walk out as champion. He's another man that I've had the privilege of calling matches with. I've seen him win world titles. And he's always proven that he will not let intimidation get to him. He will not let a threat like this get to him. This could be very different. This could very well be Steven Syntax walking away with the title and making the Disciples the most powerful force in the entire AWF, maybe even in CAW. But I think that Sean Riley will defeat the evil Doctor and walk away with still being your AWF champion. That's a little bit wishful thinking, but I think that's what's going to be the case. I think Riley will overcome the odds and walk out with his title still intact.
Okay. All right, AJ, what do you think? Who's walking out with the AWF championship?
I gotta go with Steven Syntax. He came off the biggest win of his career, winning AWF King of the Ring. And Sean Riley, yes, Sean Riley has faced big challenge after big challenge after big challenge, and every time that the critics doubt that Sean Riley's going to walk out champion, he does. But when critics say that this is Sean Riley's biggest challenge yet, It isn't hyperbole. It isn't an exaggeration of anything. He's going up against. He's not going up against his brother, someone that he knows or that he's known for years. He's going up against Dr. Syntax. Dr. Syntax is unlike any other performer that AWF has ever seen. He can beat you in the ring. He can beat you psychologically. He can beat you mentally. He can beat you physically. Steve Syntax has the advantage on all corners, and especially he has Reverend Joseph, the disciples. He has everybody on his side. Everything seems to be on the side of Dr. Syntax, and the Doctor will become the champion.
You gotta wonder, though, do you think there's a chance that maybe a new member of the Disciples could show his face and help Syntax win the title here?
This is possible. If they can convert Texas black, there's no limit to what the Disciples can do.
Yeah, who knows what's going to happen? I mean, the Disciples seem to be growing.
I'm about to lose my mind. You've been gone for so long. I'm running out of time. I need a doctor. Call me a doctor. I need a doctor to bring